Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible world that runs pretty much everything in our daily lives. From the phone in your hand to how you work, it all runs on a handful of core concepts. We're going to connect those dots and, really get a handle on the language that defines our digital age. Let's jump in.
So, let's start with a little thought experiment. I want you to picture three things. You sending a quick message to a friend, a doctor checking on a patient who's hundreds of miles away, and a giant robotic arm assembling a car in a factory. What's the link? What's the one invisible thread that ties all of those completely different things together?
Well, that invisible thread has a name, ICT, which stands for Information and Communication Technology. Now that sounds a bit formal, but it's actually super simple. It's all the tech we use to get information from point A to point B. It's the engine that's powering your chat, the doctor's diagnosis, and that factory robot. It's what makes our connected world, connect.
Decades ago, way before most of us even had a computer, a thinker named Marshall McLuhan pretty much saw all of this coming. He came up with this amazing term, the global village. His whole idea was that one day, technology would let information travel instantly, making the entire world feel as small and connected as a tiny village. And honestly, he absolutely nailed it.
Okay, so if we're living in this global village, how is it actually built? What are the real nuts and bolts holding the whole thing up? In this first part, we're going to dig into the absolute bedrock of our digital world.
Right at the very bottom, the foundation of it all, is the internet. We tend to talk about it like it's some magical cloud, right? But it's not. It is intensely physical, a gigantic, sprawling, worldwide network of actual computers, servers, and cables running under our oceans and streets. That old nickname, the information superhighway, it's actually the perfect way to think about it. These are the literal roads that all our data travels on.
And that highway was not built overnight, not by a long shot. The whole journey kicked off way back in 1969 with a U.S. military project called ARPANET. Now, to get a sense of how fast it grew, think about this. A country like Bangladesh got its first connection in 1996. And now, for literally billions of us, the internet is as essential as water or electricity. The growth has been just explosive.
Okay, now this next part clears up one of the biggest mix-ups in tech. We say internet and World Wide Web all the time as if they're the same thing. They are not. The internet is the hardware. It's the physical network, the roads and highways. The web, on the other hand, is the software that runs on top of the internet. It's the cars, the shops, the houses, all the things you visit using those roads. So remember, you can have the internet without the web, but there's no way you can have the web without the internet.
All right, so we've laid the foundation. We've got the roads of the information superhighway, so let's talk about what we've actually built on top of it. How does all this infrastructure actually pop up in our day-to-day lives?
This network has completely rewired the way we live. We've taken our shopping malls and put them online with e-commerce. We've put entire bank branches into our pockets with e-banking. Our most basic communication through email and social media, and even something as critical as healthcare with telemedicine, it all runs on this digital foundation now.
And just take social media as a perfect example. When Mark Zuckerberg launched Facebook back in 2004, the idea was pretty simple. Use the internet to connect people. But look at what it became. It's the perfect illustration of how these layers work. It's a service built on the web, which is built on the internet, that has fundamentally changed how human beings interact with each other.
But, of course, with all this amazing connection, a whole new world of problems and dangers has opened up. Every powerful technology has a dark side, and it is so important that we understand the risks that come with living so much of our lives online.
The first big threat is hacking. The simplest way to think about it is digital trespassing. It's when someone uses the network, those same roads we all use, to illegally break into a computer or a system where they have no business being. And the person who does this, as we all know, is called a hacker.
Then you have something that's basically a digital disease. A computer virus is a nasty little piece of software, a term first coined by a guy named Fred Cohen, that's built for one reason, and one reason only: to infect a system, spread to others, and cause damage. The name is perfect because that's exactly how it behaves. And then there's the one we're all painfully familiar with: spamming. It's not always a direct attack, but it's this constant, annoying flood of digital junk mail. Unwanted messages sent out by the millions, clogging up our inboxes, and worse, often hiding much more serious threats inside them.
But hold on, let's go back to that word virus for a second. It's not just a clever metaphor, it's actually an acronym. It stands for Vital Information Resource Under SIES.
Wow. When you hear it spelled out like that, it's pretty chillin', isn't it? It perfectly captures the goal, to take control of your most important digital stuff.
All right, enough with the doom and gloom. Let's get back to the cool stuff. Now that we understand the foundations and we're aware of the risks, let's look ahead. Let's explore what's coming next on the wild frontier of ICT.
So first up, we've got virtual reality, or VR. This is where we stop just looking at screens and we actually step inside them. VR is all about creating these totally immersive, computer-generated worlds that are so convincing they can trick our senses into thinking we're actually somewhere else. It's a game changer for everything from entertainment to professional training. Next, we have tech that literally turns you into the password. Biometrics is the science of using your own unique physical traits, like your fingerprint, your face, even the sound of your voice, to prove you are who you say you are. This is the technology that could finally make us forget all those dozens of passwords we're always resetting.
Of course, there's robotics. And we're talking about so much more than just factory arms now. We're creating machines that can handle jobs that are incredibly dangerous or need superhuman precision or are just mind-numbingly repetitive for a person. Think robot assistants in an operating room or rovers exploring the surface of Mars.
And finally, we're going to shrink things down to a scale that's almost impossible to imagine with nanotechnology. This idea, first dreamed up by the brilliant physicist Richard Feynman, is literally the science of building things one atom at a time. The possibilities here are just staggering, from creating materials stronger than anything we have now to designing tiny robots that can deliver medicine directly to a single cancer cell.
And just to round things out, let's do a quick lightning round on some of that tech alphabet soup you always hear. GSM? That's what makes your cell phone work. Your ISP? That's the company you pay to get on the internet. Your PIN? That's simple little number protecting your accounts. A LAN? That's your home or office network. And GIS? That's the powerful mapping system that helps us understand our entire planet.
So there you have it. From the basic roads of the internet, all the way to building machines atom by atom, we've created this incredibly complex, powerful global village. But as all this tech gets smarter and the line between our real lives and our digital lives gets blurrier and blurrier, it leaves us with one last, really big question to think about. In this new world we're building, what does it truly mean to be connected?